everyone, welcome back to my channel. So Easter is right around the corner. Today's recipe, I'm going to be showing you how to make Parker House rolls, which are an amazing bread accompaniment to any special occasion dinner. I love making bread, and for anyone who feels like making bread is too intimidating, this is the perfect recipe to start. Let's take a moment to subscribe and ring the bell so you'll be notified anytime a new video comes up. So let's get started. This is everything you're going to need to make this recipe. So the first thing we're going to do with this recipe is to divide the butter in half, and we're going to put half of the butter, which is approximately 5 tablespoons, into a small saucepan over medium heat. We're going to put this other butter reserved because we'll be using it later. We're going to swirl often, which is going to be approximately 5 minutes or until it turns golden brown. Once the butter is melted, you're going to stir in the garlic and then take that melted butter and pour it on top of the butter pieces. You're going to stir until all the butter is melted and the mixture is smooth. You're then going to let it sit, stirring occasionally until the butter is room temperature and solid. Now, while the butter is cooling, in the same saucepan, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of the milk, 3 tablespoons of flour, and a 1/4 cup of water. We're going to do this over a medium heat, whisking constantly until it becomes a really stiff paste. It's going to look like mashed potatoes, which will take about 2 minutes. In the same pot, you're going to gently heat the remaining milk on low just until it's warm. We're going to be adding the yeast to this, so we want to make sure that the milk's not too hot. Add the yeast and whisk until the yeast is dissolved and let it sit until it gets foamy, which is about 5 minutes. Okay, so I've just taken the butter out of the fridge and you can see the consistency. It's thickened up quite a bit. We're actually going to do 3 things with the butter. We're going to use a portion of it for the recipe. We're going to use a portion to grease our pan, and then we're going to reserve a portion because we're going to use that butter to finish and top the buns when they're done. So this portion I'm going to set aside. This portion I'm going to use to grease the pan. With the last portion, we're going to reserve that and use it to finish and brush our buns with when they're done. Okay, so this is what the milk and the yeast mixture looks like. This is exactly what you want it to look like to know that it's ready. Essentially, we've activated our yeast to make sure that it's ready to move on to the next step. We're then going to add the yeast mixture, sugar, 1 egg, and the remaining flour to the paste mixture, which is in the mixing bowl. We're then going to put a dough hook on our mixer and mix on low until it forms a shaggy dough. From there, we're going to add the kosher salt, mixing until the dough forms a single mass. This will be about 3 minutes. We're going to reduce the speed of the mixer again, and we're going to add the remaining butter that has the garlic 1 tablespoon at a time. You're not going to add the next tablespoon of butter until the first tablespoon has been fully incorporated into the dough. Once all the butter's been incorporated, increase the mixer speed and mix the dough until it gets really soft, which is about 8 to 10 minutes. This is going to feel like a long time, but trust me, have the faith that the dough is going to come together and form a really nice soft dough. So this is what the dough looks like after 10 minutes. You can see it's really soft and really pliable. The butter's been incorporated. All the other ingredients have been incorporated. We're going to put it into an oiled bowl and cover it with some cling wrap. A really great place to let your dough rise is in the oven with the oven off but the light on. Okay, it's been 60 minutes and you can see that the dough has doubled in size. So the first thing we're going to do is punch the dough down. Then I'm going to turn it onto a clean work surface, and I'm going to work to make approximately 15 balls that are about 1.5 ounces in size. So we're going to keep the dough covered with the plastic wrap to make sure that it doesn't dry out. So with each piece, we're going to essentially pinch it below itself to make it taut, like this, turning approximately 90 degrees each time. And then once you have the dough shaped in a ball, on the actual surface, we're gonna pull it towards itself to form a ball. You can use the same cling wrap to loosely cover your pan and let it sit in a draft-free area. After the 30 to 45 minutes, use an oiled finger to poke one of the doughs. It should spring back but leave a slight indentation. When your dough is ready to go in the oven, you're going to gently brush the egg over top of your dough and sprinkle with some flaky salt. Bake your rolls until they're a deep brown, which is about 20 to 25 minutes. When the dough is still warm, you're going to take your remaining butter and brush it over top of your bun. Let it cool for a few more minutes before you serve, and then you're ready to go. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, I've been able to show you how unintimidating a really impressive bread dish can be. This is a great recipe to bring to any dinner you've been invited to that won't throw off your host's menu. It literally is a great accompaniment to everything. If you haven't already done so, please be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you'll be notified anytime a new video comes up. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.